Alright guys, I'm going to narrate through my race with you. 2020 IXCR Rock Run UTV Pro Mod. So I'll take you a little bit through the race, what's going through my mind at the time.
Machines are shut off. Runner number 1 looks like John Barnes, Michael Falk, Matt Lipko, Gary Daniel, Brandon Moncel, Ty Phillips, Dwight Pollard, Cole Sequoia, Jason Wolfer, and Mike Siddell, all ready to go racing with IXCR in a matter of seconds.
My car doesn't start the quickest, but got off the line, got banged around a little bit right there, kind of ducked in here behind Dwight Pollard. I knew Cole Sequoia was over on my right hand side, so I'm fourth into the woods. Jason Wofford, Pollard, Sequoia, and then myself. So right now I'm thinking I got a pretty good start. There's 10 cars on the line. I'm sitting in fourth. What I wanted to do is stay with these three guys as long as I could and try to gap the field. This section was a little dusty right here, so I knew it was a straight line, but I also wanted to go fast because the more dust that I could make, the further gap that I could make on the cars behind me. This is a tight section of the trees right there. This section developed multiple lines. This tends to be the quickest line. It's a little off-camber section. I kept missing this turn. Tried to make that left-hand turn. It's just coming downhill with all the momentum and speed. It was better just to not chance flipping it on the passenger side and just going for the next left-hand turn. Kind of lost sight of the lead pack, but I kind of gained up on them a little bit on this first lap. No one's really pushing me from behind, so I'm setting off to a good pace here. You can kind of see the leaders up in the view there. Pick a line left or right here. I went to the right every time. This was an off camber. This got really rutted by the end of the race. This was nice. Big open field. Accelerator all the way to the floor. I'm sure I was up to at least 80 miles an hour through this section. We were going so fast in that section, my helmet was lifting off of my head. So my power steering just went out there. My co-pilot reset it for me. There's a couple little mud pits right here. This right here, that was a pretty hard hit. As the race developed on, it got worse. So it was an area that I wanted to keep in mind. This section here, there was multiple lines. You could go down to the right, but there was an arrow pointing down. This hill was pretty much straight down. That was the only time I took that. Every other time I went through there was someone stuck at the bottom of the hill. This trail split left and right. I tried both ways. I went to the left, I went to the right. This first lap I went to the right. I think in the next lap I went on to the left. Coming up to this section here, you could have went straight there, but there was some pretty big down trees. I wasn't sure how that was going to shape up during the race, but people started taking it, so you'll see me in the next lap go over that log section. Nice long open field section that sweeps to the right. There was multiple lines in this section. I always tried to go the shortest route, was to the left. Create a new line here. Alright, this is the Pro Hill, or Big Hill is what they call them now. There was two lines. There was a left line and a right line. I took the left line every lap. It was a little bit more of a straight up hill on the left side. You just saw a car there, so I'm still with the lead pack. Another open field section, kind of does a 180 to the left. Came in a little too hot, so overshot the corner a little bit. Alright, this is where I messed up. I scoped this line earlier in the track walk and I screwed up. I put it on its side. Those two guys helped me. That was Aaron and Montgomery. They kind of helped flip it over, but I had to use my winch. We got that thing flipped back over. I lost at least 3.5 minutes. Because I was flipped over there, these other guys tried to go around and they got tangled up, so where they're standing, their car is down, buried in the mud. There was actually 2 cars down in there. So this time, everyone from the pro row has gone through. The single seat pros and some of the heavies are going to be coming through. So I got a lot of work to make up. I mean, I'm in dead last at this point. And actually, the two cars that were in that mud pit were in the pros, so I actually gained 2 positions. Alright, just putting my head down, try to get back to the front of the pack, try to salvage some points. I mean, the only way I can go from here is up. I shouldn't be getting past at this point. I've already caught somebody from the heavy class. There's my brother on the right. He had just flipped over on his driver's side on that hill. They were getting their seat belts back on. So we're using the horn quite a bit to get through, so we can get back to the front. Alright, that's lap number 1. Oh yeah, they didn't make the quite make the left-hand turn, so that kind of delayed me even more. So I had to back up a little bit. So in the pro class, you can have a horn to alert slower drivers that, hey, I'm coming, and please make some room. So that first lap was a 15 minute and 48 seconds, and I was sitting in 12th place at that time out of 14. I believe that's Drew Moore. He's in the single seat pro class. Not sure if he was having issues or not. He usually does really well and is really fast. And he can win overall. So I was actually surprised to actually see him back there, or see me catch up to him. That muddy section here, get that hard hit again. Bam! I was like, that hurt. That was a good hit. I remember that. That one's gonna stick in my head for the next couple laps. So I get up here. It's like, I'm not going to do that downhill. It was a little sketchy, so it just went down the hill and went around. So I went to the left this time. Let's try it out. Get a little crazy right there. Some tree roots that really jostled you around. So I had a hard time deciding, do I like the left line better or do I like the right line better? And here's the tracks going over the trees. It's like, alright. is where I made that new line and continue to make a new line. You gotta remember, I'm trying to make my way back up to the front after flipping on my driver's side. And I can see cars in front of me, so it's making me go faster. Horn's very effective. I didn't overshoot the corner that time. So we're coming up to the section where I had flipped on the first lap, and I'm like, I'm not going that way again. This time I went to the left here, dropped down this little mud hole. I looked over to my right, and those guys were still stuck down there. Alright, from this flag, right here where this flagger's at, you have to go idle speed through here. until you get to scoring. Make a stop, they get your number. So that was lap number 2, and then the green flag here. Lap number 2, I was a 12:07, and now I'm in 11th position. So I gained a position. And I was a little bit under 4 minutes faster on that lap. Obviously, the first lap, I had that flip to this driver's side, so that was a 3.5, 4 minute delay. The fast guys, the top 3 were running 11-minute lap times, so if I keep this pace, I should stay on the lead lap. I didn't know that at the time. So they're not going to move over, make it easy for me, so I'm going to have to work for it. I know they can hear my horn, but they're not going to move. I don't know if they're in my class or if they're in the heavy class. If they're in my class, then they probably don't need to move over, but finally they did. Made that sharper left-hand turn. It was the only lap that I actually did that turn. It was because we were going slow. I mean, obviously I was on that guy's tail, but that's how slow we were going. I was able to make that left-hand turn. At my normal speed, coming down that hill, I always had to go to the next left. Here comes that section with the big bump in it. I remembered it, so what I did is I tried to stay up out of the ruts and slid back into the ruts, and it worked out pretty good. Yeah, I came in this, I saw a bunch of cars. 1, 2, 3. So I went to this new line to the way far out to the right. Nobody had gone out there yet. Made it around all that. And went back to the right line this time. This seemed to be a little bit of a smoother line. Wasn't as rough. That section where I went over the logs, I want to kind of log hop it. I think I do it on the next lap. You kind of hit the logs with your front tires and it bounces you up in the air, and then you accelerate, and then your rear wheels bring you back down. Yeah, we're about halfway through the race at this point. Again, looked over to my right, and those two cars were still down in that ditch. Passing John Barnes here. Got another car in sight here. Alright, so lap 3 is down. This lap I did a 12:13 and I gained a spot, so now I'm in 10th position. This section here is starting to get a little rutted out and deep, so I'm keeping that in mind for the next couple laps. Got another car in sight. Every time I see a car, it gives me more motivation to go faster to catch them. So power steering just went out there and had to do a reset. Had to do it twice for some reason. When that power steering goes out, it's very, very hard to try to turn that steering wheel. There's Stacy Monday taking pictures on the right. She was about in that same spot last year, and it was funny because we didn't have nets in that race, and my co-driver had stuck his arm out the window and gave the peace sign. It was just kind of funny. Nets are required. You can see the woods is getting fairly dark now because you can start seeing my LED lights in the front. Catching up to some more people here. And it's good because this open section's coming up, so we can really get going fast. I was trying to beat this car into the woods. I didn't quite make it, so I was telling my co-driver, hit the horn, hit the horn. I guess I motivated them to go a little bit faster. Did eat a lot of roost here though. And here we come up to that big bump again, so I can get out of the ruts, slide back in. He's just complimenting me, saying, good driving, good driving. Car's still stuck down there. You know, I have a winch on mine for just those occasions where if you do get stuck in something, you can self-rescue and get yourself out of that situation rather than being stuck down there for the entire race. So that car went to the left, I'm going to the right. I was like, well, let's see if this line's faster, the other line's faster, and it basically boils down to the lines were about equal. The left line and the right line, either line we went to was probably about the same. So I just stayed to the right. That was a pretty decent log hop. I may have done better on the next lap. And now my mission is to catch up to this car here and try to pass him. Wanted to get past him before I got in the woods, but it didn't quite happen that way. He doesn't quite move out of my way, but once we get down to this creek section, I end up passing him. Trying a different line just to see if I can get by. He went to the right. Bad line. Went to the left. Went right by him. No problem. See you later. Me again, trying to make more new lines in the same spot. I guess I was the only one taking that. I had a little issue in that section there. I don't know if I wasn't getting on the steering wheel to turn left quick enough, but there was a tree right up there, and instead of having to reverse to get away from it, I was able to just drive a little bit slower to get around it. I don't remember if those cars were still down there to the right or not, but they may have been getting pulled out at that time. That little mud splot stays on the camera for the rest of the race. But that's okay. We can still see what's going on. So there was a couple of spectators back there that lifted their shirt up and was showing their bare chest. So we gave them a little honk. Honk for boobies. Alright, white flag lap. Coming to the last lap. So that was lap number 4 completed. I did that in a 12 minute 18 second, and I gained another position, so now I'm sitting in 9th. I was pointing to my co-driver, saw another car out on the track that gave me more motivation to say, hey, I'm going to catch that car. So this was that rut I was talking about. So I went up to the right a little bit and then slid back down into the rut. And actually that was my best turn of the day right there, turning right. Even though this lap, you don't know at the time yet, it actually is my slowest lap. I felt pretty good, other than the first lap. The first lap obviously was the slowest. My fastest lap was lap number 2. But these are all within seconds of each other, so we're talking about 10 seconds difference in all the laps. So last year, right in this section right here, we put it on the passenger side, and that every time I went through that section, that would go through my head, like, do not put it on the passenger side. And especially since we were on the last lap, I was saying, all right, just get this section out of my head. That was a big bump, so I don't have to worry about that. Look how dark it is in the woods now. I mean, it's getting pretty dark. And I'm not sure, like, how fast we were getting in this section, because I mean, I don't have the speedometer set on mine, but my helmet felt like it was lifting off of my head, because that's how the wind going underneath the visor, that's how fast we were going. I would say we'd probably getting up to about 80 miles an hour in that section. Here's that big bump again. Again, I just drove a little left of the ruts and then slid back in. Car's still stuck down in that mud. Not sure why they're still stuck down there, but just had to go out to the right to go around them again. When I get to this section, the left and right, I like the right because it was smoother and not as rough as the left, so I just stayed to the right. I only took that left line one time. That was a great log. That was probably my best log hop. You basically, again, you just front tires hit the log, pops you up, you accelerate, and then your rear tires, when they hit, it brings your front end back down, and it just makes a really nice transition, almost like a bunny hop. And imagine I have an LED light bar on my car, and you can see how it's lighting up the woods. There was cars that didn't have this. They didn't have this lighting, or they didn't even have headlights at all, and I would say that was very hard to navigate through here without lights. So this was fun. I decided to take a different line. Just run up this hill and then kind of jump off of it. It was a really cool line. I said to my co-driver, I was like, that was fun. He said, yeah, it was. Here again, I'm just the line I kept taking all race. I'm not sure that anybody else was doing that same thing. Otherwise, the twigs or branches would have been more mowed down than what they were. I know we're on the last lap, but I caught up to one of the guys in the heavy turbo class, and he was not gonna let me go by easy. Again, I must have motivated him with my horn, because he decided he was gonna get on the gas. That's alright, you're going to make me work for it. I want to pass you before I get to the finish line. I know you're not in my class, but I'm still going to get by you. See ya. Alright, checkered flags. Whew, man, that was a tough race. I wish I wouldn't have put it on its driver's side. I finished that lap with a 12 minute and 21 second, and I gained one more position, so that put me at 8th place out of 14 cars. So I wasn't dead last at 14th, and I made my way all the way back up to 8th. I did the calculations. I should have been in the 4th or 5th place if I wouldn't have put it on its side. I also finished 13th overall out of 36 cars, so pretty good job. Anyway, I'll see you guys at the next race, maybe next year, maybe in a couple weeks.